Hi, this is Melanie. I am a transitioning lady. I am not transitioned yet. There's some really great content from creators who are all the way transitioned, men and women. And this is supposed to be more of like, for the trans person, I'm very stoned. It's supposed to be like for the person thinking about transitioning or someone who's early on in transition or for someone that's supporting one of us. And I don't make a lot of money, and nor does my wife. We're in school to try and do better for ourselves. And if money is holding you back, then don't allow it to. Oof. Shit's from the state. So, anyway, yeah, this video is about how I knew I was trans, and I'm going to give an early pardon for myself, please. I'm trying to like kind of play around with my voice a little bit, and like no matter what I do, I can't seem to get rid of this thing at the bottom. Like I can feel right, like maybe there, I can feel it like voice happening, and it should be happening more up here. So I'm trying to kind of play with that and figure it out. So if at points my voice goes up and down, please disregard that. I'm going to watch this back and kind of like see what sounds like what and figure out where my homeless ass voice can land because she needs a permanent spot. I think the next thing I work on, like now that I can get kind of like up high on command, again, just quick deviant, now that I can get kind of like wherever I want to go, I need to bring that baseline up. And I don't know quite what that is, or like I know this is R2, I know that's R1, but I also know kind of like how to do this at will. So I need to now work on how to get the bass of my voice out. I'm not really sure what that is, so we'll find out. So the video is about how I knew I was trans. I do believe I was always trans at this point. I don't think I had a right answer on that. I don't think I had any answer on that when I first even decided I was going to be on trans, or when I wanted to go through with it, when I realized I was trans. When I started HRT, I really didn't know the answer. And the longer that I have thought about it and remembered, and people that were really close to me that knew me in person definitely weren't surprised. They thought I had been lying to them the whole time, that I was trying to say I was a man. Like, legitimately, they thought I was lying and, like, playing cover-up or something like that. There's actually a video on that, I think, in the channel already, but... So, how I knew I was trans, and I believe that here's me being stoned, I apologize. I do believe I was always trans, and I'll probably make a different video on why I think that. But that's a separate subject, I guess, from how I knew I was trans. Like, what was it that made me, like, come to it and say, like, oh, bitch. And I guess maybe I will go into some reasons why I think I was born trans, but I don't think I'm probably going to focus the whole video on that. Man, I look squinty-eyed as fuck. I did have to take notes for this one for sure, because there's no chance my fucking stoned ass is going to stay organized and on path with this, so please pardon me checking down. I guess I should probably be like playing the teleprompter game and keep it here, and I'm just kind of like the whole time going back and forth, like I'm not reading. Like we all don't see that, Mr. fucking news reporter. So anyway, I definitely had thought about it for years. And I like, the first time I began thinking about it for real, where I was like, hey, I really like this feminine expression thing. Like, this is fucking cool. I like this. I feel good. I'm like wanting to wear colors all of a sudden. And it's like, ooh, we're getting sassy. And it was when I lived with my ex, who was a trans lady, who was the first person I was aware. She was the first person that I knew that was trans. I'm sure I had met other trans people before, I am positive. I just don't know. I didn't know what to look for. So, I guess I had thought about it about a month or two after moving in with her. I started expressing very feminine clothing. I wanted to play in makeup and stuff like that, which of course doesn't make me trans. That's not what makes me trans at all, but there were early signs that I didn't really know to even pay attention to, and the trans girl spotted it immediately, like immediately. She basically, like, she was like, hey, do you want to be trans? Like, do you want to be trans? And I kind of like immediately said no, no. And she looked back at me and was like, if you want to be trans, it's fine. You can be trans. Like, our relationship would end, but you're totally cool to do that. Like, no one's going to be mad at you for that. And I guess I've given some angst about that, and I think it's perfectly fine for someone not to be attracted to trans people. Like, that's chill. It was weird about how she went about it. Like, she made me, okay, she's a trans woman, as in transitioned male to woman, and she only dated gay men. So no matter who she was with, she would make them identify as gay. And I think, if I remember properly, it's because she had, like, I think a dating trauma or something like that, or maybe it was some kind of, like, issue related to being trans. I'm not sure. But she used to say that, like, she hated that she would, like, men that would leave her would usually leave her for cis women. And it's not that they were leaving her for a cis woman. I mean, I'm sure some of them might have, but that wasn't the reason. The reason was, at least in her mind anyway, again, I don't know how much of this is true, I have no idea. This is someone else's experience, I guess I'm kind of sharing secondhand. But she had a real issue with, like, she hated when men would leave her for a cis woman. And, like, in my mind, it makes perfect sense. Like, well, yeah, bitch. Of course they did. They're not gay men. That's, I mean, some of them might be bisexual, but if you're looking for straight men who are gay, you're confused. I don't think you know what all those words mean, honey, and that's fine. So that was very strange to begin with. She forced me to identify as a gay male, and I say all of that because I believe that was, like, her way of killing off some of the competition. Like, that makes sense. If I had, like, a super big issue with that, and I wanted to protect myself from feeling that way, making them identify as a gay male is kind of a nice trick. I don't, I'm not condoning the activity, but it didn't feel good for my position. So I wouldn't recommend someone do that, but at least I can understand where she's coming from, or attempt to anyway. Maybe that's not where she's coming from. I have no idea. I'm fucking armchair psychologying her, but whatever her reason, I was identifying as a gay male, which honestly felt a lot more comfortable. All of a sudden, now it was chill for me to, and I think a lot of trans people express this, is like, it was chill for me to kind of, like, dress femme. It was cool for me to put on makeup and paint my nails. Like, I'm gay. People expect that out of me. Yeah, right? Huh. So there was a lot of gender expression I got from that. So while I didn't like having to go around and say that because I'm attracted to women, it was still better because I got to express myself. And I guess if she would have been chill, I probably would have transitioned. I don't even know, like maybe 20, 21 years old. I don't think I look back. So I was feeling very comfortable in dresses. I liked wearing skirts. I liked wearing makeup. I a lot of times was not wearing men's shirts. I was going for unisex at best. I mean, there were some, like, men's shirts I would wear, but it was a lot of times unisex or women. And there was a part of me that was, like, trying to maintain my masculinity or whatever, because she didn't really dig femme guys. So I guess for me, I felt more comfortable. I guess, like, there were some pants I would wear that were, like, satin, and they were pink, and they had, like, kisses all over it with lipstick lips, and it was like, oh my god, I loved wearing those. And yeah, like, I remember trying on, like, tuck underwear because I wanted to know what that felt like. I wanted to know what that looked like, and at the time I didn't think much about it. I really didn't think much about it, but the idea of being smooth down there, if we all are catching my drift, was very, very pleasant to me. Now, she didn't support me doing that, which, again, fine. You're honestly looking for straight men, so that's chill. Like, she said she tried girls and didn't like it, and, like, whatever, right? Like, do your thing. If you're in that situation, man, what I wish I would have just done my transition. Man, was that just such a sign. I should have just done it. And I remember being disappointed at the time. It's like, no, I'm not trans. No. I just, am androgynous. That was usually how I sold it, is I'm just very androgynous. If you're closeted, and you're not in a position where you can just walk around and say, yep, I'm trans, bitch, then I guess there is the option of saying, like, look, I'm just going for the gender bender look, like, I'm just being all androgynous, and you can point to people, goddamn, I don't remember dude's name, and everyone on the internet's gonna hate me for this, but the guy that was in fucking, damn, how do I not remember the movie? What is it? The Labyrinth. Who's that guy? Someone in the comments tell me who that guy is. I don't remember, but I point to him, and I guess, like, Ozzy Osbourne did some pretty, like, there was a lot of people who are men who dress very effeminately, who still weren't trans, and that was kind of like how I played it off. But 100% pushed the envelope as far as I could. I was still wearing women's underwear as a normal. That just felt more comfortable. I was happier. So when I was wearing boy clothes, it was normally like I would pick exclusively like neutral colors. My cat is going crazy. She's going crazy. It's about, I don't know, an hour or two to feed time, so she's doing that like huntress thing that cats do. So I was like refusing color choices, and I have gone to a pretty extreme before. I was at a point where I was really, really close. This was right before I started like acknowledging my gender expression, where I was going to stop wearing all colors altogether, ever. I was going to get like, brown boots, like a white jumpsuit, and that was it. That was going to be my look. I wasn't going to like keep my beard kept. I was going to not keep my hair well. Like the whole look was like, fuck it. Like, who cares? Fuck it. You don't like my look? You don't like my lack of expression? My expression is not expressing. That's how I feel. Very funny. Very, very funny. That was like where my boy clothes ended up. That was like the extreme. And we never ended up buying that stuff, thank God, because I ended up buying women's clothes instead. Like, there was one job I was at where I was like, my actual first store manager job. It was like a local grocery store. It's a big enough store. Like, it's in probably, I don't even know how many states it's in, but it's a decently sized store. And I got my, store manager job. I was like, I don't know, 22, 23, something like that. And I had just seen, I don't remember what show it was, but some dude looked very, very, he looked good, and he was wearing makeup. And I was like, hey, I can do that. I can express all of that, and I could still, like, I'm just a dude, right? Like, I'm a gay dude, right? Like, that's what we do. It didn't work. It didn't work. I got fired for that, because I wouldn't stop doing it. They kept telling me to stop, and I would just ratchet it back a little bit, and ratchet it back a little bit, and after like a month of it, they fired me. Which, whatever, like, I'm not tripping over it. It's like, whatever. I was too stupid to know to do anything about it then anyway. So, yeah, I got fired at one job for wearing makeup, as my androgynous self, Let's see. This video is already going on a lot longer than I had intended it. I can tell I'm stoned, so I'm going to try and split this up. So yeah, we split up, and I kind of like went into the closet for a while, and I was attracted to women. So like, I liked trans women. I still think trans women are super, super attractive. I'm into women. But I didn't like the stigmas attached. Like, life was easier as just a straight man, so I did that. And I ended up with my wife. I'm very, very happy with her. So there was a moment where her mom thought that I was like having my egg cracking moment, and I was coming up to like, tell her about it. For those of you who don't know, egg cracking is like, I guess, I think the term is referred to as like, when the person knows that when their egg cracks, when they know that they're trans. And she thought this was me telling her about it. And like, I had gone through like hours of like shaving myself, and it didn't work right, like, I think a couple weeks before. So I got like super bad razor burn, and I didn't go well. So then I tried Nair instead, and chemically burned myself. So then I had to wait a week later or something like that. And I tried Nair again, and it wasn't effective. So I then went back with a razor, and I got in like there's like some cute overalls, and it's like a skirt that's fairly short. It's fairly short. I'll put it that way. I put on like a cute shirt. It was like a white shirt with like little teddy bears on it, and they were like different colors. And I put on the little overalls, which was like a bear, so it was like, it had like the little ear and the little ear, and their overalls, and it was an overall skirt. They were like super fucking cute. We still have them. I think both of those articles of clothing we still have. And I remember how many weeks in a row I went to finally put this thing on and not be grossed out by like all of my very manly, masculine looking leg hair. Like, I did a full body shave for this thing too. It was like, all I wanted to do was try on an outfit, by the way. So anyway, I go upstairs and I have this thing on, and this is her mom. So I'm just like, Mom, look, don't I look cute? And she just she had just gotten off the phone and had like, her doctor on the phone. She didn't get the best news. She's fine, by the way. It was just like stressful news. She had a lot going on at the time. I'm not going to throw her business around the internet either, so she just had a lot going on at the time, and she was kind of going through it and had just gotten off one of those phone calls. And I walk up there doing that, and she goes, I can't right now. I can't right now. I can't. You look great. I was like, what? Like, I don't understand. What do you mean? She's like, I can't do it right now. And I'm like, and I found out years later that was because she thought I was coming out to her as a trans lady, and had assumed I was the whole time. So anyway, that was a fun moment. And I stayed shaved. Like, I would shave my full body hair for years. Like, this is probably after that point. And I would pretty much keep shaved. And I had tattoos, so, like, I would give a lot of excuses, right? Like, oh, it's so hot in kitchens. Like, who doesn't shave? Oh my god, are you kidding me? It's like 20 degrees cooler if you shave your legs and your arms. Like, are you stupid? Like, those are insulators. And I wasn't wrong. It is a lot cooler if you shave. The temperature goes down drastically, and you're, in a kitchen anyway, where it's hot and ovens are on and shit. It's definitely a higher quality life, like 100%. I think my cat is laying on my vape, and I want it. Baby. Oh no, she's not laying on it. I'm just being an asshole. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right here. Someone's stoned. So anyway, it was like, I stayed shaved, and I had lots of excuses, and I just kept on doing it. And I was still getting a lot of shit. Nobody believed I was straight. It was like a joke. They all knew that I had a cisgendered wife. They just didn't buy it for a second. It was like never sold. Some days I would put on makeup and like I would still have glitter. Yes, you guys see, I like the glitter. I would have like glitter left over on my face because like I know one time in particular, I got to work and I had been there for a little while. And the guy that was like back in production looks at me and goes, do you have glitter on your eyes? I'm like, son of a bitch. Fucking my wife. God, you know that she's in cosmetology school, and like she was, she told me she wiped it off, and that was like how I just, and they were all going like, yeah, I tried. I came up with a lot of excuses for why I was presenting the way that I was, but at the end of the day, that was my own way of expressing it, and dealing with how I didn't like hairy arms. I didn't like my hairy legs. I hated it. I hated it. It's not that I mind like body hair. Like, it doesn't bother me if a woman shaves or not. But for someone who had so much working against me, it felt a lot more feminine. Um, and like my arm hair, for example, does not look feminine at all. It would not like. There's a picture of me in a dress where I actually look pretty good. Like my wife did my makeup that day. I looked pretty good until you see my arms. Um, and like it bothers me. So, um, yeah.
This is the end of the video. I apologize. I try to keep these under 20 minutes, and I have failed today. So if you are wanting to hear the rest of it, please tune in for the next video.